Welcome back to Krishna's Laurels. Today we'll be discussing directive principles of state policy. So let's see brief introduction of DPSP, that is Directive Principles of State Policy. Uh, DPSP was formulated by Sapru Committee, Sapru Committee's recommendation 1945. Sapru Committee have divided, classified individual rights into two parts, that is fundamental right and Directive Principles of State Policy. So we call it as DPSP in short. So DPSP are non-justiciable, which we have seen in our last class, that is fundamental duties. So DPSPs are non-justiciable. Uh, I meant that the DPSPs are only made to guide the state in a sense, our Indian government, in formulating laws and policy. Whenever there will be any law made or any act made, they will be seeking reference or using DPSP as a guide. Or it has been originated as an instrument of instructions. So, what is instrument of instructions? It means it have been used as an instrument which gives instructions how a law should be made. If a law comes into effect, what benefits it should give to our citizens, how it should be, the morals and the values. So we call it as instrument of instruction. DPSP aim to establish social democracy and economics. So this is the main motto of DPSP. It is to establish a social democracy and economics. Unlike the fundamental rights, DPSP are not legally enforceable by the court. So we have seen, right, these are non-justiciable and non-enforceable. In a sense, we can't claim it as how we do in fundamental rights. We can't approach Supreme Court, neither High Court, whenever uh, fundamental duties and DPSP are breached or not enforced. So coming on to the purpose of DPSP, DPSP aim achieving state welfare. So main DPSP is something like where it says values, morals, state well-being, how a law should be. It is something like more like a guidance to our parliament or our state government. Again, state is India here. We are considering country. We do say country as state in politics. So DPSP aim to achieve state welfare by providing guidelines for union as well as state governments. They establish principles in social, economics, political spheres tailored to India's unique circumstance to guide policy making and law formulation. So they act as a guideline for union government as well as state government. They establish principles in what social, economical, political spheres in a sense areas, social, economic, and political, and it have been tailored in a sense customized as per our unique circumstance of India. After seeing India's uniqueness, like how they are different state, different languages, there is the what to say secularism, different religions be together. So after seeing everything, they have made this what is this DPSPs, and this acts as a guide for making laws and policies. So we are seeing arguments arguments on enforceability of a DPSP. So when DPSP was enforced, there were arguments like somewhere in favor of DPSP and somewhere against of DPSP. So let's see what were in favor. So check on government enforcing DPSP would act as a check on government, ensuring that it works towards welfare of people. So here they are saying that DPSP would act as a check on government, that how it is working towards welfare of the citizens. Uh, National unity. Enforcing DPSP can foster national unity by promoting principles of social justice, equality, as seen in Article 44, advocating for a uniform civil code. Hopefully, you know this UCC, Uniform Civil Code, that everyone should be following the same law. So here DPSP have mentioned that part, that there should be a uniform civil code and everyone should be following same law, because there should be social justice and equality. So this is also like fostering national unity, that everyone are equal, there is no partiality. How come just say in Hindu only one marriage is allowed? If he does second, it is an offense, it is illegal. But whereas coming to Muslims, they can do four marriages. It's valid, something like that. Like it shouldn't be something right for one person is wrong to another. It should be equal. Arguments against existing laws. So many argue that DPSP need not to be separately enforced, as existing law already indirectly implement to their provisions. So they are saying that we need not to implement DPSP because whatever DPSP is saying, similar laws are already existing. So it's not that much useful. Uh, so they are saying, for example, Article 40, which is talking about Panchayat Raj system, we already have laws for it. So there's not needed to make another. Imposing morals. So here they are saying that enforcing TPSP may impose certain morals and values on citizens, potentially hindering their societal growth. In a sense, it says that if you are doing so and so thing, then only you are doing right. This is morally right. This is morally wrong. This makes them societally, they can't grow. They'll be restricted, because their thinking will be like, if I'll do something like this, it will be considered as morally wrong. Society will not accept me. So here DPSP is also imposing some kind of moral, some kind of values. Now coming on to the significance of DPSP. Backed by voice of the people, DPSP are non-justiciable. As we said, they are non-justiciable but carry the weight of vox populi, the voice of the people. The voice of the people, in a sense, here we mostly consider people's opinions, people's recommendations. So it is known as vox populi, and which serves as the real sanction behind every law. So behind every law there is like some reference from DPSP, and in DPSP they have mentioned what actual citizens of India wanted. So it is something not justiciable, but still it is vox populi. In a sense, it has voice of people. Philosophical foundations of welfare. So here DPSP provides philosophical foundations of welfare system, making states responsibility to enact welfare legislation for benefits of citizens. So DPSP is mostly focused on welfare of our citizens, equality between citizens and all. So here they are saying DPSP make state to feel that it's their responsibility to act in welfare and benefit of their citizens. Moral idea and guidelines. DPSP represent moral ideas for the state, guiding the formulation of laws and policy. They are crucial for the societal growth and governance. So here it is like a moral guidance for our state, and DPSP will also be guiding state government for formulating new laws and policy. So this is very important, as it is important for our social societal growth and governance. DPSP ensures continuity in governance by providing guidelines for successive governments to follow while formulating laws and policy. So DPSP is ensuring that the same pattern, the how a particular law is made now should be same thing after 10 to 14 years, because it will be acting as guide to even successive governments. What is successive government? Later on governments. Complementing to fundamental rights. DPSP is complementing to fundamental rights by offering social and economical democracy alongside political rights. Both are essential for the functioning of democracy. So here they are saying that DPSP is complementary to our fundamental rights. It's because it is offering social and economical democracy where everyone will be treated equal. It is socially uh, social well-being and economical equality, something like that. Then only so this is alongside with our political rights, that is fundamental rights. Measure of government's worth. Here, adherence to DPSP reflects the worth of a government's action and policies, allowing the people to judge and reject government that neglect these principles. So mainly whenever we see a government's particular government's decision or how they are acting, we mostly judge them on basis of DPSP, whether they're following DPSP or not, because DPSP is something which every citizen wants. Their thoughts are implemented in DPSP. So we can like judge a worth of government by seeing whether the uh, government is following DPSPs or neglecting the principles, DPSP's principles. Now coming to fundamental right uh, and difference of fundamental rights and DPSP. So here fundamental rights protect the interest of individual citizen and operate on a micro level. Hopefully micro level. In micro level we see it in individual perspective or in a small perspective, whereas DPSP is broader scope as it talks about large group of people. It talks about whole India, whole state. It aimed to guide the state in formulating policies and laws for whole country. Here we are talking only about an individual, a person, whereas in DPSP we are talking about the whole country. Nature of DPSP is affirmative directions for the state. It is giving affirmative positive direction to the state, whereas fundamental rights are negative or prohibitive nature as they impose limitations on the state. So in DPSP, what we say, these rights are effective only against state. So this is against to state government, because state government should give so and so person their right. If they don't give, it comes negative to state. But where we say this, acha, acha. So here here fundamental rights say state should not do so and so, so and so, so and so thing. But whereas DPSP says that state should do this thing, state should do this thing, state should follow this particular values, morals. So it is affirmative where they are saying to do something. Here in fundamental right, they say state should not do so and so things. So it is negative or prohibitive, not to do. Affirmative in a sense, you should do. Enforceability. So DPSP is non-justiciable and non-enforceable, whereas our fundamental rights are legally enforceable and justiciable. For fundamental rights, we can approach court, but for DPSP, we can't. What is relationship? DPSP and fundamental rights complement each other and work together for the welfare of our citizens. DPSP are not subordinate to fundamental rights. DPSPs are not subordinate to fundamental rights, but they are like hand on hand equal and complement each other for welfare of our country. So let's see the a little judicial background of DPSP. Here we are seeing judicial balance, that is DPSP and fundamental rights. In case law, that is judgment, State of Madras versus Champakam, 1951. Here is the background of the case. It was a landmark case where the Supreme Court addressed the conflict between fundamental rights and DPSP. So here the Madras government implemented a reservation policy based on caste violation, that is Article 51A and 29 Clause 2 of the Constitution. So here, this is the background, and what judgment was given is Supreme Court held that fundamental rights are enriched in Part 3 of the Constitution are superior to DPSP. It emphasized that in case of any inconsistency between two, that is DPSP and fundamental rights, always fundamental rights will be prevailing. So here they are saying that because fundamental rights are enforceable and legally, like someone can claim them, whenever DPSP and fundamental rights get conflict, that fundamental rights will always prevail. They'll be giving importance to fundamental right. Golaknath case 1976. So this is the background of the case. Golaknath has challenged constitutional validity of the 17th Amendment Act, which sought curtail of the fundamental rights. So curtailing in a sense narrowing down the fundamental rights. A judgment given by Supreme Court was that Parliament cannot amend fundamental right under Part 3 to implement DPSP under Part 4. It established that the rights mentioned in Parliament 3 are immutable and cannot be abridged. Here, Supreme Court said that just to implement DPSP, you can't change or amend fundamental rights in Part 4. So, rights mentioned in Part 3 are immutable. You can't mute them or you can't change them. In the case Minreva Mill 1980, the background was that the case revolved around the validity of 42nd Amendment Act, which expanded the scope of Article 31C, giving precedence to law aimed implementing TPSP. So here they have given importance. They are asking the validity of 42nd Amendment, which have made some laws which were aiming to implement TPSPs. So the judgment given by Supreme Court was that to struck down part of 42nd Amendment, particularly restoring Article 31C to its pre-1976 position. It emphasizes that laws protected under Article 31C must be aimed at implementing Article 39B and C of the DPSP, maintaining a balance between DPSP and fundamental rights. So they are saying that here the laws which were that Article 31C, which was coming into effect to make laws to implement DPSP, were struck down and said that Article 39B and C is enough to maintain the balance between DPSP and fundamental rights. Classification of DPSPs are mainly done on these three bases, that is socialist principles, Gandhian principles, and liberal and intellectual principles. So this is something like ideology, and this is a kind of ideology working on these objectives. So we'll be seeing one on one. Socialist principles are like to achieve, establish social and economical equality. They want to remove this barrier saying rich and poor. They want to remove it. They want to remove the differences. Advocate of equitable distribution of the wealth and resources. You know the principle, right? Socialist parties do say if rich do donate their 20% or 30% of what you say assets to poor, then there'll be not a such difference going on. Like every person should donate their part of income, something like that you might heard. So that is socialist principle. Focus on welfare of workers and social justice. Example include equal pay for equal work and labor rights. This is socialistic idea. Now Gandhian principle is inspired by Mahatma Gandhi's philosophy. It emphasizes on self-sufficiency and rural development. So this is known as Gram Swaraj, where they say the support small government. Right in Insta, they have started support small businesses. uh, Something, I guess in COVID it happened, where there was a trend, everyone used to post a sticker saying support small businesses, like that. It means promoting village self-governments, people who will be doing small businesses. We need to promote them, we need to buy things from them, not from brands. Advocate for sustainable development and community participation. Sustainable development in a sense, not you should develop, but by not harming any like nature, like trees or animals. That is known as sustainable development. Liberal and intellectual principles are aimed to promote individual freedom and right. They will be focusing more on a person rather than other things. Advocate for secularism and gender equality. Here they say that everyone is equal, no Muslim, no Hindu, no girl, no boy. Secularism and gender equality. Emphasis on education and cultural preservation. Focuses on democratic government and rule of law. So right now we are following liberal and intellectual principles. If we say the Gen Z is following this right now, liberal and intellectual principles. Coming to directive principles based on socialistic principle. So Article 38 says that State aims to promote welfare, ensuring social, economical, and political justice, and minimizing the equality in income, status, and facilities of opportunity. So here, Article 38 is saying that state should aim to promote welfare by ensuring that there should be no economical, political, judicial, political differences. There should be no equality in income and status of life. How a rich person lives and how a poor person lives, there should be no difference in that. There should be no rich, no poor. Article 39 says that right to an adequate means of livelihood for all the citizens, organization of material source for common good, avoiding concentration of wealth. Here they are saying there should be no concentration of wealth, and the person who is holding wealth more than needed should be divided, something like that. Equal pay for equal work, protection of workers' health, prevention of exploitation of children and youth. This is under socialistic principle. They say that equal pay should be given to equal work. There should be health protection of the laborers, innocent workers, and prevention of the exploitation of children, like they do child labor. Uh, Article 41 says that ensure right to work, right to education, public assistance in cases of unemployment, old age, sickness, and disability. So, Article 41 emphasis on the right where people should have right to employment, education. If in case of unemployment, there should be an assistance from the government, and old age, sickness, and disabilities. Article 42 says that provision for just and human working conditions and maternity relief. So here they are saying under Article 42, they're saying that every person should have justice and just and human working conditions. In a sense, the working conditions should be human enough and just, in a sense, fair enough. And there should be a materiality relief, that is, there should be maternity relief. In a sense, when a woman gets pregnant, they should have maternity leaves and later on assistance as well. Under Article 43, endeavor to secure a living wage and decent standard of life for all workers. So when a person, the living wages should be fair enough that they can have an decent life standards. Coming to Article 43A, steps to ensure that the participation of workers in the management of industries, that every worker should participate in the management of industry. Article 47 says that its aim is to raise nutrition level, improve living standards, and enhance public health. So here every person's life standard should improve and health should be enhanced. Article 40 under Gandhian principle. So what Gandhian principle says here is state shall organize village panchayats as units of self-government. Village panchayats should be organized. Under Article 43, it says that endeavor to promote cottage industries on individual and cooperative basis in rural areas. So cottage industries, small industries on an individual and cooperative basis, like cooperativeness kind of company basis in rural area should be developed. And under Article 43b, it says promote the voluntary formation, autonomous functioning, and democratic control and professional management of cooperative societies. It is promoting cooperative societies, and it is saying they can voluntarily come together and make a formation of a cooperative system, cooperative societies, and they can professionally manage it. And we need to promote that. Under Article 46, it says that promote education, economic interest of weaker sections, especially scheduled caste and scheduled tribes and other marginalized group. So like minorities or someone who is like poor, we should promote their education and their economic interest. Article 47 says step to improve public health and prohibit consumption of drugs, and harmful things which are harmful to health. So here in Article 47, right, Gandhiji every time says we should not drink alcohol, we should not eat non-veg, we shouldn't eat or drink something which is harmful to our health. So here it is taking steps on improving the public health and prohibiting the consumption of alcohol and drugs. Under Article 48, prohibiting the slaughtering of cows, calves, other milk cattle, and other towards improving their breeds. So this is like completely following Gandhi's philosophy. They are saying there should be no cow, calves, or other cattle. Cattle, in a sense, things which eat grass, goat, cow, calves. We shouldn't slaughter them. In a sense, we shouldn't cut them because to improve their breeds. Directive principles based on liberal intellectual principles. Under Article 44, liberal intellectual principle says that uh, it is to endear securing to secure for citizens a UCC Uniform Civil Code throughout the territory of India. Throughout the India, people should follow only one law. It is saying that it's Uniform Civil Code. Under Article 45, it's saying that provide early childhood care and education for all children until they complete age of 6 years. So here under Article 45, what they are saying, from 6 to 14 we have like what, free education, but before 6 every child should be provided with the so early uh, childhood care should be given. Under Article 48, organize an agriculture and animal husbandry on modern and scientific lines. So under Article 48, it focuses on organizing cultural and animal husbandry on modern and scientific lines like poultry farms and all. Under Article 48A, protect and improve the environment and safeguard the forest and wildlife of the country. So it is emphasizing on protecting the environment and protecting the wildlife. Under Article 49, it says protect every monument, place of artistic and historic interest. You know, right? Around Taj Mahal, there is some meters. Few, no, no particular vehicle should be around it because we are saving that particular monument, and it is considered as one of the wonder of our world. So it is our Indian heritage, Indian artistic thing. So we are saving it, protecting it. Under Article 50, they say take steps to separate judiciary from the executive and public services of the state. We know, right? Judiciary can't interfere in executive matters, and executives can't interfere in uh, judiciary's matter. Under Article 51, it says endeavor to establish international peace, security by maintaining just and honorable relations with the other nations, fostering respect for international law, and treating obligations and encouraging the settlement of international disputes by arbitration. It is saying that we should have the good relationship with other nations as well. We should respect international law, and whatever crisis or whatever conflicts come around, we need to settle them via arbitration. In a sense, we need to sit together and talk and then come to a solution. So these are the recent amendments made to DPSP. Under 42nd Amendment, the directive principles added Article 39, that is to ensure opportunities for healthy development of the children. Under Article 39A, the state shall promote justice, ensuring equal opportunity, and provide free legal aid to ensure that justice is not denied due to that person is poor, that is economically disabled. Article 43A, the state shall take steps to ensure participation of workers in management of undertaking, establishing, or other organizations. So here under Article 43A, they are saying that uh, every particular worker should participate in the management and management of undertaking, establishing, or other organizations. Under Article 48A, the state shall endeavor to protect and improve the environment, the safeguards, the wildlife, and the environment livable. So here they are saying that we need to protect the environment and wildlife. Recent amendments में what is 44th amendment. So act of They have added Article 38 to and uh, Article 38 to emphasis on minimizing the inequalities of income, eliminating the inequality in status and opportunity. Here they are saying that there should be no inequality in income, there should be no inequalities in status and opportunity, rich, poor, life standards, and all. It is Sixth Amendment changed subject of Article 45 and made it a fundamental right in Article 3. So article a subject of Article 45 was changed to uh, become a fundamental right. Article 45 was renumbered as Article 21A, that is right to education, that is ensuring free and compulsory education to all children between 6 to 14 years of age. Previously, Article 45 was advocating for care of children below the years of 6, that is development, children's nutritional development. Introduction to 43B is that the 97th Amendment Act 2011 incorporated 43B in DPSP, that is, states' commitment to promote voluntary formation, autonomous functioning, and democratic control over cooperative society. So, this 43B is focusing on development and formation of cooperative societies. This amendment highlights the importance of empowering the society, cooperative societies, fostering their sustainable development and overall welfare of the society. So here we are focusing on the small businesses, cooperative societies, and their well-being and sustainable development. Hopefully you know what is sustainable development, where we develop without harming our surroundings and nature. Now we'll be seeing important cases on DPSP. Kerala Education Bill 1959, the court emphasized maintaining harmony between the fundamental rights and DPSP. In this case of conflict, fundamental rights should be upheld and given more importance. So, what in this case they said, every time we need to see that a fundamental right and DPSP is harmonized, in a sense they are equal. But if any conflict arises, we will be always prioritizing fundamental rights over DPSP. In Venkataramana versus State of Madras, Venkataramana versus State of Madras, the precedence is given to fundamental rights over DPSPs, reinforcing their importance. So here they are saying over fundamental rights are important over DPSP. In Golaknath versus other, this stress that Parliament cannot curtail fundamental rights. So here they said that Parliament doesn't have right to curtail, in a sense, narrow down the fundamental rights, and laws implementing Article 39B and C of the DPSP may infringe fundamental rights but are void solely for that reason. So they said that Article 39B and C are violating fundamental rights. So that's the reason we can't impose those DPSP, and already, like always, will be giving importance to the fundamental rights. Other cases, Keshavananda Bharati versus State of Kerala. So Supreme Court said that directives DPSP on a higher position than the fundamental rights. So here Supreme Court have have given importance to fundamental. Uh, DPSP were given more importance than fundamental right in Keshavananda Bharati case. Undi Krishnan versus State of Andhra Pradesh. So, Supreme Court's position stated that fundamental rights and DPSP are not exclusive but complementary to each other. They are not against each other, but they are complementing each other. The court perspective was that fundamental rights provide the means through which the goals outlined in Part 4. So, they are saying fundamental rights help to achieve DPSP's goal and can be through fundamental rights, DPSP's goals, which are mentioned in Part 4, can be achieved. So we have completed DPSP. Huge discount is going on Mega Mock Test Series for TS and AP LAWCET. Please do enroll. Link is in description box. You can even text us on Telegram or on Instagram. All the best for your exams.